Hey YouTube! Here's one man's opinion of the Leatherman Supertool 300. This guy, I think, is easily one of the toughest, best multi-tools out there. Top 5. And the reason for that is a lot of people love the Leatherman Surge. I've handled the Leatherman Surge, used it a little bit. I don't own it, but I've used it a bit, and it's a tough tool, and it's got pretty much everything you would need. It's a walking, wandering toolbox, the Leatherman Surge. But there is one drawback to it, and it's the same one that you find with the Skeletal that I mentioned before, and is that there's a bunch of parts that come off. They're designed to come off. It's what gives it its versatility, but it's also what makes it lose versatility if you lose any of those pieces. The Supertool 300 is the tool that Leatherman makes that holds dear and maintains that fidelity to the original Leatherman personal survival tool concept, which is essentially the KISS approach. Keep it simple, stupid. It's got a number of drivers and blades. Nothing comes off. You can't lose anything, and it all stows away cleanly and neatly in the middle for a compact package that you can carry around. Now, in terms of compact, this is one of the biggest multi-tools on the market. Keep that in mind. So you're not super compact as far as that goes. It does take up a lot of space on the belt or the hip or the pouch. If you are brave enough to carry it in just your pocket, it takes up a lot of space. But super heavy duty and will take punishment beyond reason. Couple complaints about these guys here, drawbacks that I think y'all should be aware of, is you do have every multi-tool manufacturer's love, especially Leatherman's, for redundant flathead drivers. Some give you more than others, and it's kind of silly, but and some people love it. I personally don't. At the end of the day, this bigger guy here is less of a driver and more of a prying, scraping tool than anything else. So it's great for that. And then the other issue is this file and this saw, and I found it true aside from, say, the Surge and Waves files, are kind of useless. When I was working restoration, I'd be out in the field digging holes for a fence line or digging trail, and you don't want to carry a bunch of weight, so I would carry this guy thinking, oh, if I have to touch up an edge on a tool or something, or a quick touch on a machete, I've got this file. It's not aggressive in any way, which is a bonus in one respect because it means it's also not wearing away itself. It doesn't get dull as quickly, but I don't know. But I found myself more inclined to hike a quarter mile back to the truck and get a real file than live with this as just a file trying to do what I need to get done. Now, if it's all you've got, it will sharpen, it will take away wood, it will take away metal, but it's going to be at a frustrating pace. So, I mean, there's that for you. It works, but it's probably the least functional file I've encountered, aside from that really old rusty one I found in my dad's garage underneath the car and the hoses. And then the saw is one of those guys, I wouldn't have had anything negative to say about it had I not used Victorinox multi-tool saws. This thing cuts perfectly fine, it's fast enough, it gets the job done, and you can't really say it sucks like you can with the file. But there are better saws in multi-tools out there. So, not bad, not great, but it's there. And all the drivers are drivers, they do the job. One of the sweet things is Leatherman makes this add-on where you can slide an adapter over the Phillips head bit here, and then you can fit in hex and their little flat driver accessories. Fit that on there, and you can expand the versatility of this tool and also expand the number of things you can lose. That's up to you. The greatest shining aspect of this tool are these pliers. These are Leatherman's biggest, toughest, heftiest pliers. They're so hardcore, in fact, that after they made the Surge, then they made the Supertool 300, and then they said, damn, those pliers are the best, and so they put these pliers on the Surge. Never have I encountered, even almost in regular plier world, wire cutters that are this awesome. That replaceable 154 cm wire cutter is without a doubt one of the greatest innovations, I think, in multi-tool plier world. Because when you're coming on cutting really tough stuff, and I'm talking like high tensile fencing wire, the kind of stuff that holds back 1,200-pound bulls or nails or screws, you don't have to be afraid to dig in with these wire cutters, because if they get all messed up, you just replace them and you're good to go. A lot of folks would protest. They would say that SOG makes the best pliers and wire cutters, and the reasoning behind that is SOG has that super cool compound gear system set up on their pliers, which does in fact provide more leverage and squeeze force. But what I think SOG failed to do was put steel on those pliers to match the amount of force you could throw down. I had a couple of SOGs. One I lost, one I just got rid of because I wanted to buy other tools. So I sell them. And I cut the same high tensile wire, the kind that this handled without stress or complaint. And I burred the wire cutters on one guy, on one wire. And it was kind of frustrating. I mean, it didn't like ruin the functionality of the pliers, but when you hail as the toughest wire cutters and toughest pliers in the multi-tool market, you have to be disappointed if something else shines brighter than it, and these do. I've had the SOGs burr and strip out under stress lighter than I put this guy through, and you just can't beat it. So there you have it. In a world of multi-tools where there's increasing bells and whistles and things that can break and fly off and get lost and take apart, this is a trusty 357 revolver that will fire straight and true every time and never jam on you. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's one of those things that'll be around forever just because they kept true to the Leatherman mission, which is a tough, simple, sturdy tool. That's this guy. If you want a smaller one, if this is too large for you, Leatherman does make the rebar, which is kind of the super tool they just shot with a shrink ray. That's an option. And they make some other slightly less sturdy tools that maintain this simplistic setup. But at the end of the day, this is as simple as it gets. One of the deals here too is a lot of people don't like this. You can see right here, clumping. There's a benefit to clumping, that is, you don't have to dig and try and pry really hard to get the tool you want. You just reach in, grab them all, select the one you want, put the rest back, and you're good to go. That's why I like clumping, but it is frustrating to reach for one thing and get everything. It's just kind of one of those, leave it or take it sort of situations. It's a little stiff. I need to lube it up, I think. Or loosen it, perhaps. But yeah, keep that in mind. A lot of guys love it. A lot of people don't, for kind of the same reason. Either love it or you hate it. But it's one of those trade-offs that you give into for having such a simple, straightforward, unbreakable multi-tool design. And that's what this is. Thanks for watching.